Hey everyone, I'm back with another update. In this episode, I'll cover news related to Venezuela, immigration, and Minnesota. Of course, I'll end with the noteworthy tidbits. President Trump met with Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado at the White House, and Machado presented Trump with her Nobel Peace Prize. Trump said she insisted he take it for all he's done to bring peace to other countries, so he accepted. A photo of this exchange was taken underneath George Washington's portrait, which is significant because, as Machado explained, 200 years ago, General Lafayette gave Simon Bolivar a medal with the face of George Washington. 200 years later, we Venezuelans give President Trump the Nobel Medal in return. In other Venezuela related news, the Department of War seized a sixth sanctioned oil tanker coming from Venezuela. On to immigration related news. Democrats are threatening to shut down the government because they want to abolish ICE, or at least slash its funding, and the New Jersey legislature passed legislation that bans ICE from stopping illegal aliens based on their immigration status, limits data sharing, and bars them from jails. Basically, this new law bans the enforcement of federal law. Senator Rand Paul filed legislation to ban taxpayer welfare for non-citizens, and the Third Circuit Court sided against activist pro-Hamas student Mahmoud Khalil, reversing a lower district court ruling. This means Khalil could possibly be rearrested and deported, but ICE likely lacks authority to detain him pending further proceedings. Shifting to Minnesota news. A judge declined to block ICE operations in Minnesota, and President Trump threatened to institute the Insurrection Act if Minnesota politicians and professional agitators do not stop attacking ICE agents. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem confirmed she spoke with President Trump about invoking the Insurrection Act, and she also revealed that she spoke with Governor Tim Walz and offered him her personal cell phone number if he needs to call her. She said that she told him if he doesn't like the laws, go change them, but don't do it by giving place to these protesters and rioters that are perpetuating violence, and she said she also reassured him that their goal every day is to keep people safe. ICE Director Todd Lyons said it's total anarchy in Minneapolis, and attorney Mike Davis said Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Governor Walz could end up in federal prison for insurrection. The man who stole an FBI rifle and ammo from a federal vehicle has been arrested and identified as a violent member of Latin Kings, and Americans are demanding the resignation and arrest of Minnesota Representative Brad Tabke after he posted the locations of ICE agents. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed major investigations into the funders of the riots against ICE in Minneapolis, and as for the Minnesota Somali fraud schemes, it's been confirmed that $700 million in cash was transported out of the Minneapolis airport and $136 million out of Columbus, Ohio. The Treasury Department is geo-tracking the money being deployed out of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and Ohio has begun cracking down on the rampant Somali child care fraud by requiring cameras and inspections, a statewide audit system, and the suspension of taxpayer funds for any place under investigation. In other fraud-related news, a citizen journalist in Frisco, Texas, found a single-family home with 5 entities registered there, including a nonprofit, and in California, the CEO of a taxpayer-funded nonprofit that cares for sick children embezzled over $5 million. Now it's time for the noteworthy tidbits, which are brought to you today by Big Fork Brands. Let me tell you about them quick. Sometimes I get on a roll cleaning or gardening, and I need a boost but don't have time for a meal. Big Fork Brands pork jerky is the perfect choice to keep my momentum, offering high-protein snacks for on-the-go energy boosts. Not only do they offer pork jerky, but they also make pork sticks, bacon sausage, bacon hot dogs, and burger and hot dog sauces. Products come in a variety of delicious flavors, including Thai green curry and maple and brown sugar for the meat options, and gangster and Chicago fire for the sauces. I personally think the original flavor of the pork jerky hits just right after tackling a big chore. It's a little salty and very flavorful. My discount code gives you 20% off your entire order, and it's currently the best deal available. Just visit bigforkbrands.com and enter in my promo code JADE, that's J-A-D-E, at checkout. All right, let's get back to the tidbits. President Trump announced that the Board of Peace was officially formed, with members of the board to be announced shortly. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff announced Gaza's 20-point peace plan has officially entered the next phase, And Trump said that as chairman of the Board of Peace, he is backing a newly appointed Palestinian technocratic government, the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, supported by the board's high representative to govern Gaza during its transition. The Treasury Department unleashed sanctions on Iranian military leaders and energy and trading companies, and Secretary Scott Bessent confirmed the Iranian regime wired money out of the country due to an imminent collapse. Deputy ICE Director Madison Sheehan is running for Congress in Ohio's 9th District. Senator Markwayne Mullin invited Oklahoma National Guardsmen for dinner and a night Capitol tour after they volunteered to keep Washington, D.C. safe. The Daily Beast reported that President Trump had a stroke months ago and hid it from the public, but that story has been debunked through the White House. Also, how does someone hide a stroke if they're in front of a camera literally every day, all the time? Whatever. A Florida man is being praised nationwide for personally following a child predator with children in his car on the highway until law enforcement arrived to assist. President Trump reached a $500 billion trade deal with Taiwan, with half being invested in chip making in the U.S. and the other half coming from the Taiwanese government for the supply chain. A new graphite mine opened in the United States, which hasn't happened in nearly 70 years. President Trump had technical talks with Danish and Greenland officials to move forward with acquiring Greenland. That's all I have for today. I'll be back with another update soon. Until then, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast, and follow me on Instagram and X at Shades of Jade Pod. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.